sheep in the base game is very low. And what you're considering if you're making your own food is how much you're not going to realize by selling it to the market. Hey, we're doing reasonably okay. We have some real world issues going on which I can't talk about, and but apart from that, health wise we are reasonably healthy. Mrs. Osa is recovering from her surgery very, very well. But yeah, what I was getting to was because the animals need other products, which can include things like soybeans and sorghum and stuff like that. What you're looking at there is I can grow a field of sorghum and sell it for £1,200 per 1,000 litres, or I can not sell it and feed it to my animals. So that £1,200 per 1,000 litres is your unrealised profit from the crop. So what you've got to consider is it more profitable for me to grow a cow and feed it food than it is for me to grow a crop and sell it? And therein lies the dilemma. And because the animals are eating more and a more varied diet of food, grab that grass, it shouldn't affect the bale. You kind of don't want to there are serious repercussions, but the consequence is that even though a cow produces 10 times the amount of milk, it's eating 10 times the amount of food, and the food is generically more expensive because it's it's using some more expensive crop. It's like base game pigs, for example. Shall we pull up the prices as soon as I get to the top here? We're not going to fill this last bale up, so not going to be an issue. I don't think, even if I do a silage run in our grass field, we're just going to end up with grass silage as the first bale out. So all we're doing here is priming the baler with stuff for the next thing we cut and bale. That's pretty much good enough. And we'll stop this here. We'll raise the thing, turn it off, turn the tractor off. So yeah, if we look at crop value, that's not crop value. And pigs eat sorghum or corn as their main food source. Sorghum is worth 350. Corn is worth 505. Hey, you know what? I think I should feed them sorghum because it's lower value. Now, best value for sorghum is 524. Best value for corn is 497. So really, it's at this time of year sorghum is better fed to pigs and corn is better sold. However, if you go for the peak, which looks like it's both July and December, you're going to get 497 on the corn. For sorghum in January, you're going to get 524. So in that case, that's the bigger potential value per 1,000 litres. So sorghum to the vendors, corn to the pigs. Similarly with soybeans, 1240, 802 for sunflowers, and what's the other thing? Canola, 725. Do not feed soybeans to your pigs because soybeans are just too valuable at the best price. Sunflowers are 802, canola is 725. Okay, canola's the best food source for the pigs. You've then got wheat and barley, 407, 373. Feed them barley. Potatoes and sugar beet, 207, 147. Feed them sugar beets. That's kind of how I look at the animal feed. It's the loss I'm going to incur by not selling the crop and instead just feeding it to an animal. So yeah, grow soybeans and canola, keep the canola for the pigs, sell the soybeans for money. It's far more financially worthwhile doing it that way. Stop. But I think Disturbed's conclusion about sheep was you're barely going to break even. I didn't get, there's some more here, but I'm not going to worry about any more bits of straw or whole crop lying around. Yeah, what was I about to say before squirrels happened? Yes, so his example with the sheep was you make almost no... the wool is basically almost net even against the value of the crop that you're feeding the sheep, whether you're buying in from the store or whether you're using your own. It's just it's a wash. The way you make money on sheep is actually to sell the meat. Also do what is it? Natural grazing. So have the natural grazing mod on. We have that on, but we never let our cow shed get too low in food to actually trigger it. But using that allows sheep to just eat the grass in the pasture that they're housed in. If you're using base game sheds, or if your map is suitably prepared defining the grazing area for each shed. Now obviously base game sheds don't have a lot of grass in them, so you're going to go through it very, very quickly. Here we've got quite a substantial pasture size attached to our cow barns, so they're probably going to last a little bit longer, but with 1,000 cows in the barn, again, you're going to go through it quickly if you're reaching that sort of number. Okay. We're not going to have enough room for all of the straw bales, but I will take 3 of them back just because it's going to be easier and I don't have to come out here with the little skid steer. And as 44 Ranger said, that little skid steer is good for small things. It has a slightly better centre of gravity than the telly trucks that we have. So, while it's good for small things, it is stable when picking up a bale. Although, remember, we're using big bales here, so they're kind of heavy. Oops, you have to wait till that's done and then pick it up. Okay, so we should have about 3 straw bales left here. Yeah. I might tractor those back. But yeah, so that's how we do things here. I don't like how the pickup arm is too far out to the side doing this. You know what we could do is drop it here. So long as we're not on the... So long as the bales aren't on the track, we should be okay. Obviously, the wrapper is going to move down the row, so it's going to take us longer to pick up the last few bales as we get to the end of the stack. But that's done. I'll fold that back up. Leave that attached for now. When, as I said, we're pretty much done with... Oh, no, we're not. No, we're not. Actually, I may just stick us on this track here, pointing that way, because we still have a whole ton of straw to pick up. Turn that off. Okay, let's get this thing stabbing things. Now, I have frequently been known to just use super strength to do this when nobody's watching. This definitely has a light chassis, so the bale can result in a little bit of squirreliness as we're trying to manoeuvre. But it's the only skid steer I have available to us. In fact, it might... Oh, that's right, yes. I've got an electric front loader, which I think may be a bit unstable, and two telly-trucks as well. Telly-trucks? Yeah, telly-trucks as well. Spread around the map. If we look at stuff we have, front loaders, we've got this little electric thing, that's down at the dairy. And two forklifts. One of these is at the grain mill, and the other one is at the bakery. And then I've got a skid steer, which is this thing, on the farm. So the others we're only ever using to pick up pallets and load into the back of our truck or onto the back of a flatbed or whatever we end up using. This is used for anything around the farm. So, I mean, I think maybe eventually a telehandler may be a little bit more effective because it just has that tiny bit more weight behind it. But for right now, this isn't going to fall over when I'm stabbing that bale high up. The telly trucks and the front loaders are not particularly wide stance and a slightly higher centre of gravity. So when you start turning with a bale, they tend to start wobbling and threaten to fall over. Which is why I kept this on the farm, because we do bale work here. I mean, the other vehicles I can use here are things like the Massey Ferguson tractor. Until we got this, the Massey Ferguson was primarily the front loader vehicle on the farm. The Deutz is set up for front loader work, but we don't do a lot of work with it anymore. It was our first tractor, so it was just, I'm going to need a front loader, so the one tractor that we have on the farm needs to have it. So anyway, we are making whole crop silage, so that's going to be a good thing. We got 22 bales total. So 220,000 divided by 4 is 5.5 times 3 is 165,000, I'm guessing. Yeah. Don't do math on stream, it never works, but I'm guessing we're going to end up with 165,000 litres of silage here, which can then go in the cow barn. I'm still not picking these up particularly straight. You're supposed to spike this in the middle, I think. just so you get a good balance. And obviously that's one of the reasons why the telly trucks end up so unstable, is because of perspective in farm sim. It's not the easiest of things to judge your position, and you tend to have to look at a slight angle so that you can see, you know, you've got your height right, you've got your depth right. Coming in from this angle, I have no idea how high the spike is from the ground, but I can definitely see I'm spiking along the centre line of the bale. So this is not going to unduly unbalance me. Okay. To lift that up a little bit. Bit of a problem here is spiking the bale in the middle with the spike does leave a lot of the loader arm at the bottom of the bale. We can look at that as we come to the side. So I've got to make sure that in order to trap the bale against that backrest, I'm not also trapping the loader arm, which there is the potential of doing if I stab the bale too low. So I want to drop that, oh, we need to move forward a bit, drop that about there, and that will then result in the bale snagging on the wrapper and staying there. That wasn't too bad. You do want to go all the way in because there are two stabilising spikes on the fork. On the spike. This isn't. I don't consider this to be a fork because a fork tends to have two or three equal length prongs, whereas this is a spike with a couple of stabilisers. I might try and grab another high bale. Ooh. The reason I'm doing that is so that I can pull those bottom bales straight up and not foul the next row, because that puts too much weight on our little telehandler. Whoops, so that's probably too low. That's just right. Anyway, so what have we got? 10 more? 10 more to load. Who's got the baler? Massey Ferguson, I believe, has the baler. So we'll take the Massey Ferguson over to the oat field, bale all up that straw, and then take a look at what's the next job. Oh, actually, there's a plan. Okay, we're absolutely done with the rake for today, so I can put that away, and I'll probably re-hitch the mower to the Deutz. Gonna need to put it through the workshop, put the mulching heads on it, or adjust it for mulching, and we can actually set, well, can we? Yeah, we can set the mulcher off in the wheat field across the way. That's a start. I'm not too bothered about more work this morning. I mean, we're only 8:30 in the morning game time, so we have a lot of work to do over the next 3 days to get those fields prepared and ready to be planted. I don't think we can plant them, but we can look at the map for that. yeah, we can plant canola in August. So we've got July and August to prepare both of those fields for planting. That's fine. I'm good with that. Although I did say we're probably going to plant canola, so that only gives us this month to get things done. Even so, if we get this month those things done, it's still 3 days. I'm going to make as much opportunity of the time that we have today, that's way offset, to get as much work done. We're going to have to spray that grass field, we have to mulch both arable fields, we have to plough the top of the arable field across the road to increase its size, and we're going to have to spread slurry on both arable fields, and I think at that point they're ready to plant next month, and canola in both, so I think that's a good thing. I can reserve July day 2 for contract work. Again, I'll probably do contract work with try and pick up some harvesting contracts, maybe wheat and barley, get some more straw. Obviously I'm not going to be able to get some more whole crop silage, but I will also be able to ship the bonus yield down to the grain mill in order to make more flour. We need to top up the bakery with flour so that it has a 12-month supply, which I believe is 2,000 a month, is 24,000, so 48,000 litres of flour needs to be taken to the bakery every year. After that, all the rest of the flour can just be sold, because that just exceeds the capacity of the bakery production for the year. But we're not in any big hurry. I think we were looking at it, there's about 8,000 litres of flour still at the bakery, which is good for 2 more months. So long as we get more flour down there before the end of September, the bakery can remain at 100% production and not be a problem. And then, as I said, all the leftover flour can just be sold straight off, because we have no other productions that can use it. But as I said, we're probably going to make use of a lot of this month's working hours. When it comes to working our own fields, we will try and work them first day of the month, at least for harvesting, and seeding when it needs to be done. But the intermediate work just has to be done during a month. I don't actually, for seeding, I don't think it makes a difference, because the growth happens on midnight of the first day, or the morning of the first day of the month. So if I plant canola on the first day of next month, it's going to sit dormant in the ground until the first day of September, no matter what else I do. So really it's not a big deal. Okay, I'm going to park that there. Hope nobody gets stabbed by anything. And you're waiting. You have to bale stuff. You're the tractor I need to do things with. Come on. So yeah, because of the way the game works, I know we are not going to have any crops of ours needing to be harvested for 2 game days, because the next growth cycle is going to be the first day of August. And I'm guessing our canola and barley fields are going to be ready for harvest at that time. And then we have the soybeans left, and that's all our current fields harvested. And obviously what I want to try to make happen is okay, I need the 3 point, probably the one with the longer hitch. There we go. Okay, so yes, I just want to make sure we have as much time as possible. We are ready to plant on the 1st of the month, even though we've got until the end of the month. But the main point is if we can harvest on the 1st day of the month, that gives us a number of... Oh, wrong one. No, that was the right one. There we are. Yeah, unfortunately, the back prongs only work with the mouse. If I could be bothered to put the front loader spike on there as well, I could actually bring 2 bales at a time. Really, it's not quite so important because, well, it's not like we have a serious number of bales to bring in here.